I'm sure thousands of people drive down Rivonia Road from Santon to the freeway and see this magnificent building on the left-hand side called the Investec Bank. And of course, there's this magnificent big screen with all the stocks and shares and facts and figures that are burning 24/7. And of course, they represent the interests of Investec Bank. And I can assure you that if you go back to 1787, where Lord Derby and Lord Bunbury flicked that coin and came up with the Derby as a name as opposed to the Bunbury, you could have a television channel running 24/7 with the history of the Oaks and the Derby and all the nuances and the facets of the horses, the jockeys, the trainers, the breeders, and all the fare that goes along with it. And we've come to the Investec building today to speak to one of the founding members of Investec Bank, Mr. Bernard Kantor, with regard to the historic occasion that will take place in the first week of June this year, when Her Majesty the Queen will walk up onto the stage, onto the rostrum, and present the winner of the Investec Derby with the trophy for the first time in her 90-year reign. Bernard, must be one of the most incredibly fantastic experiences that you've ever possibly imagined.
I am so excited at the thought of being at Epsom Saturday 2 weeks that I literally don't sleep at night. But this year we have an added bonus. As you well know, Her Majesty has agreed to hand over the prize for the first time ever in her 90-year career. I was at a function the other evening with a whole lot of racing people, and she was there. Her passion, her love for the horse, and her absolute thrill and enjoyment of discussing racing with trainers and owners and bloodstock agents, it doesn't matter who. She's so knowledgeable, you know. She'll tell you what the going's like. She'll tell you the tactics that the jockey used and where he made a mistake and what he should have done, and the breeding. She loves it, absolutely loves it, knows all her horses, knows them by name. And that's not just her race horses, Andrew. The carriages, she knows the horses on the carriages, and she'll go and greet every one of them when she has to go in a carriage. She's remarkable, she's absolutely remarkable, hardworking, dedicated and passionate about racing.
Well, I have to say that is the very reason that horse racing is just so much part of the ethos of the British people, because their monarch is their everything. And if she loves horses like she loves horses, how can they not love horses?
Well, absolutely. It's just a gift every year that she's around for our industry. And I'm so delighted that this year she has actually agreed to hand over the trophy for the first time ever. And I'm really very flattered and privileged that she's agreed to do it on Derby Day. I mean, it's fantastic.
Well, it's almost like we were all on tenterhooks the year that she had Carlton House in the race, hoping and praying that she'd win. And then something very similar happened at Royal Ascot, where she had to be presented the trophy that she was going to present. At the end of the day now, she doesn't even have to win a race, and it becomes the most visible moment in sport on that day anywhere on the planet.
Yeah, that's right. She won the Gold Cup at Ascot, and I happened to be with her at a function a couple of days before, and she whispered to me that she was very nervous and that she thought she had a good chance of winning the Gold Cup. And at the time, Moore was not sure if he was riding for Sir Michael or for the boys from Ireland, and he thankfully decided to stay with her and won the Gold Cup for her. I mean, she just reflects what we all feel about this industry.
Well, on the subject of Moore, it's widely talked about that Ryan Moore is the best jockey in the world, and there's always going to be an element of subjectivity. You can never say Investec is the best bank in the world unless, of course, you're part of Investec. But having said that, he has 5 or 6 golden opportunities to climb on the winner, and it doesn't appear to be straightforward this year. There are a couple of very high-profile horses, the usual races, the usual suspects, the 2,000 guineas, the Dante Stakes, the French 2,000 guineas, and possibly even further afield.
Yeah, you know, it's very hard, as you say, it's very subjective. I would have thought maybe Anton or Pierre would have been the greatest jockey in the world. In our world, yeah. Certainly they are, and I think they'll give them a run for their money there as well. In fact, I've seen Pierre in action there. He does pretty well. Yeah, he's a great jockey. but the competition is fierce. And the horses they have the privilege of riding are very different from what we have here. The quality. I mean, if you just look again at the field, the Derby field, there are no fewer of what's left now, that we know that there are strong possibilities of going through. There must be 7 or 8 Galileos. I mean, and many out of King Mambo mares. I just don't know how you compete with them, and mostly belonging to the boys from Ireland again. Kumul are just so dominant, and Ballydwell, I mean, Aidan's got a hell of a difficult job in choosing who to put on what horse. But then, of course, you have a See the Stars, which is fantastic. You have a Pivotal, which is fantastic. Cape Cross, how do you leave Cape Cross out? And these are not bred out of lousy mares. I mean, broodmare size there, you cannot imagine.
Multiple group winners.
There's a great-grandfather of one of the horses is Sadler's Wells. Another one is Nureyev. Now, when you talk about Nureyev, I get tears in my eyes. So I just don't know how one is supposed to pick a winner there. There's no standout this year.
The fact that you had See the Stars in the inaugural running with Mick Kinane, it just epitomizes the expression. You never get a second chance to create a first impression, and that first impression is very similar to the one that Frankie Dettori created last year, this charismatic, ebullient person. He is your ambassador. I mean, you couldn't ask for more than that.
We can't. We've hit it really lucky with him. And he's been a great ambassador because he actually understands what the role of an ambassador is. And we've just been incredibly lucky. And this year I'm very privileged in that we have this room, and some people have been there, others haven't. But we have such a collection of stars in there. I mean, I have the English women's hockey team captain, for example. And she's amazing. She's tough. Captain Courageous, I call her, and she'll be joining us on the day. I mean, I have the head steward of the jockey club. So, slowly little Investec is finding its feet, and just the privilege of being able to sponsor. You've got to be lucky. I mean, when we started sponsoring the English girls, they were nothing. They've just won Europe, so they're the best team in Europe at the moment and going off to the Olympics. And I had them for dinner the other night, the whole team. They're fantastic, those girls. They're youngsters, so courageous, unbelievable, and passionate about what they do. Of course, when you look down from there, you would imagine that you were in Cape Town, Johannesburg, or Durban, because all you can see is Investec. You don't see a blade of grass because there are too many people, but you just see Investec. It's fantastic.
Frankie's ad just says it all. He says it's like they cut a strip of grass right through the middle of the people. Yeah.
It's like somebody cut a piece of grass through people. It's pretty amazing to see from where I am.
He's got a way of expressing himself, which is just brilliant.
How do you make things better that are already sublime? Because what you've done since the relinquishment of that sponsorship back in 2006, it defies all logic.
Yeah, Andrew, I don't know how anybody, of course everybody's got their own strategy, they must do what they got to do. I don't know how anybody gives up that property. I just don't. To be able in this day and age to get the sponsorship of the greatest flat race in the world is something I always have to pinch myself and remind myself. Of course, when it comes to renewing, the price of these sponsorships now have gone through the roof. I'm not sure if little Investec, with our currency at 23 to 1 today against the pound, whether we'll be able to afford it, but we're going to enjoy every second of every minute that we can whilst we have it. That I can assure you.
I'm going to leave you with one final thought. The rehearsal prior to one's marriage of making sure that you get all the words right and that you don't trip over your wife's dress. This is the most monumental moment in Bernard Kantor's life, when Her Majesty the Queen walks up onto that rostrum to present the trophy. How many times have you rehearsed that in your mind?
Andrew, honestly, I thank you for that, and I will not cock it up, or I will not make a mistake, I can assure you. But, she's so easy when you know her. She really is. She just loves and will be passionate about that moment and about seeing that winner in the parade ring right in front of her. Because it's a small parade ring, it's not big, and you're standing right there and the horse is walking around right there, and the owners are there and the excitement of it, and She's just going to love the moment, I can assure you. We will just be there right with her, enjoying every second of it.
Well, on behalf of the fans, of the people that just love the horse like they love the air they breathe, thank you for giving us this opportunity to come and attend the world's greatest flat race. And we wish you well and your whole team for the rest of sport.
Thank you, and I wish the South Africans good viewing. And I just so wish that they could all be there with us. But if not, then let them at least enjoy the day. It's going to be a great race without any favourites. Just great stallions and great mares and great broodmare size. So I don't know what more one could ask for. You know, there's been the odd disappointment. The one Galileo Gold never stayed the distance. But I see now they're reconsidering that.
With a run. They've given two prices.
With a run.
7 to 2, 6 to 1.
But that's racing, and of course they're better brains than mine for sure. They'll know what to do. Mr. Aidan O'Brien don't need me to tell him what to do, and nor does John Magnier. But in the death, these are all very, very special animals.
The Investec Derby is the biggest race in the world. All you see is your opponents in front of you, and you see the strip of green grass. It's like somebody cut a piece of grass through people. It's pretty amazing to see from where I am. You know, this is my stage. Last time I was here, it was when I triumphed in the Investec Derby. You know, I knew I had a special horse on Golden Horn. The week before the Derby, you know, the tensions started pumping through your veins, and you know, you're getting a bit anxious and you're getting a bit nervous. Your body feels like jelly. You know, I've had some tough times. You know, I'm getting quite old now. I didn't think I would have another chance. I mean, it took me 15 years to win it the first time, so I know what it feels like to be under pressure for 15 years. When I was a young boy, Lester Piggott said to me, ride the horse, don't ride the race. And he was right. What I experienced the last furlong, of my 28 years of riding, I'd never felt that kind of emotions. Something's very special. And that's it, then we crossed the line, and then you have the split second of surreal that, is it really real or am I dreaming?